Yes, well, my brand new album, No Failure, my first live album, just came out this past Friday. It is an amazing feeling. This album is very special to me. It's really a piece of my heart, and I got to put my stamp on it, especially this time with, being a part of a label. But it's a message of hope to the world, to remind people and to remind us as believers, and even those that don't really know who God is, that in God there is no failure. And I think every song, if you trace it correctly, it all traces back to the center of, that message that there's no failure in God. It kind of changed for me. At first it was like, my label was saying, hey, it's time to do a new album. What we doing? And it's just like, well, what we doing? But no, it really came together. I began to pray and just, really ask God, what message do you want me to relate to your people? And I believe that everything that happened, the way the songs came, the way the producers and the band came, it was all God. I promise you, watching it from the inside out, it was like, it could have gone a different way. It could have been so much different, but I really think God orchestrated every piece of this because it was the way that he wanted it to be. What first inspired me to start creating music, well, that traces back to when I was a kid. My parents, the late greats, Melvin and Crispell, growing up with them, I've always wanted to be a singer. Didn't know that it would turn out like this, but ever since I was young, there was always singing, music, ideas. I think I wrote my first song when I was 9. And I remember I was in the car and it just came to me. And ever since then, I really wanted to, see what else will come my way as far as music is concerned. So now I've dived into a lot of different genres and different things like that, and just, kept that going and keeping my parents' legacy alive at the same time. Someone else asked me that question, and I think I enjoy co-writing a lot, and that speaks to my process because I like to see other people's process. I guess I'm still learning as a songwriter to see how people come up with different ideas. But me as a songwriter, I think I get a lot of melodies first. It could really go either way. I normally get a melody first, and then I'll begin to think on some things and catch memories and all that stuff, and I'll kind of put those words to a song. Or sometimes I'll be talking or thinking about something, and a melody will come to me while I'm thinking about that thing, and it'll just come together. It may take a while. I may have to record it and sit on it for maybe 5 days, a week or something like that, but then I'll come back to it and say, hey, what else can I add to this to where it makes sense? So that's kind of my process so far. If I was not a songwriter, a liturgical dancer, no, I'm just joking, I promise. I can't dance or anything, but I think I would be heavily involved in the industry of acting. Even though that's still something that I am going to do, if I wasn't a songwriter, singer now, that's probably what I'd be doing right now. I can trace BMI back to my parents. I know my parents were heavily involved with BMI, their publishing and different things like that. I believe some of my publishing is through BMI, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, that's my history of BMI. I know I am pretty familiar about BMI. So to be here, celebrating the release of my new album with BMI is completely mind-blowing. As a songwriter, the best advice I received as a songwriter is write the scriptures.